going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Tuck. In today's drive time, I'm going to talk about speaking white. Yes, you heard me correctly. Speaking white. What is speaking white? What is it? What does that mean? How did that come about? You know, I just often wonder about the origins of that whole phrase and saying of speaking white, man. I think it's a whole long line of things that's happened to get us to this point. But first of all, I'm gonna start with myself. I've been accused of speaking white. If that's such a thing. I've been accused of it, man. Whatever now. It is what it is. But I think everybody has a story. Everybody has a story, you know, with, you know, as far as upbringing and, you know, how you got to this point, how you get to that point. So I'll speak of myself, right? I was born in I served in the military. I was also born in a military family. We moved around Virginia, Mississippi. Lived in Japan for 3 years. After my father was through with his duty in Japan, we got stationed to Georgia when I was 10. When I was 10, so we got to Georgia after being out of the States for 3 years. It was like when I seen people speak, man, it was like almost like they were speaking a foreign language to myself at the time, man. You know, especially amongst black folk. I'm just gonna say, you know, what it is, man. And they looked at me funny too. They looked at me like, man, why does he speak that way? He sounds white or whatever. So for a few years, you know, as an adolescent, when I was insecure about that, man. Like, damn, is there something wrong with me? Or, you know, but not a sob story, but it's just a real story, you know. Things people go through. But move on to about 8th grade, I got down my Georgia language was pretty on point now, so I could now what you call code switch, I guess they call it now. I still had my foundational speaking patterns, but I could speak like the locals. I guess you can call it the locals or whatever. How we spoke. So you know, you go throughout high school. You know, people still make fun of you. Hey, oh my gosh, man, you speak so white. Or not just speaking, but grades. You put grades in it too. Oh man, you make good grades, so you know you got a lot of kids, black kids, hiding their grades because they make good grades, right? On top of how you speaking white, you know, it's looked at as a negative. Quick story, not to get off topic, but I graduated high school with a 3.5. I did all right. I got 1 C in high school, and my C in high school, I'm embarrassed to say this, but I was somewhat proud of it. It was like, oh man, I got a C. Man, I got a C, man. I showed people that C, but I didn't show people my A's and B's. So it was whatever that is. That's really stupid. But anyway, back to the speaking thing. As you grow up, I think especially when you start dating and stuff, right? When you speak, it's almost like I'd say I don't know, man. You're gonna turn a lot of people off with speaking. You know, let's say you do sound that way, you speak white or whatever. There's a certain, I don't know, demographic that it's not gonna really hear what you're saying, right? So, you know, fast forward to now, my daughter called me out for speaking, for code switching. Okay. Now we went to a convenience store, and I was speaking to another dude in the store, a brother, Didn't even think about it. But we had a quick conversation. I think it was about the game or something. And we got in the car. My daughter looked at me and was like, why you had the code switch for? Why'd you code switch? I said, what? What are you talking about? What do you mean, why did I code switch? Code switch. She said, well, you changed the way you were speaking to that dude in there, the black dude in there. And I thought, I denied it. I was like, man, you don't know what you're talking about, little girl. And I thought about it and I said, oh my God, man, I did do that. So, yeah, it's still a thing, I guess, I do today, I guess. I don't even know I'm doing it, right? Speaking differently toward, my own people or whatnot. But to get to it, to get to why, how did we get to speaking white? How did we get to that in the first place? If you look at videos, I'm a historian, I'm a history buff. You look at videos where you see, I'm gonna use black people as an example from like the 40s and 30s, 40s, and 50s speak. They speak the King's English, man. And I always wonder why. They're speaking the King's English as a majority, until you get to where we are now, and it's nothing like that now. Another example, when my time in the military, I've traveled to many other countries, and this is just something that I think, but when I go over there, no matter what the ethnicity of that person was, most of the people sound the same. Everybody got their own, dialects and ways that they speak individually themselves, but you can't be on the phone and listen to them and be like, oh, I know this is a Mexican person, I know this is a black person, I know this is a white person. To whereas here, and I jokingly guess, I know that cat was black, I know that was a white person right there on the phone, and 95% of the time I get it right. It's strange, man. It's just something, most people don't think about stuff like this, man, but I don't know, it's just a thing. I think it's great. I think it's weird. I think it's fascinating almost. And I just want to know the science behind it. How did we get to this point? So I was reading a book, and I can't remember the name of it, but they were talking about the white people that came over from England. A lot of them, they spoke a certain dialect of English that was, almost like the Scots talk right now. And what was told was, I guess a lot of the Southern whites, that black people took up their speech patterns to, where we are today. And it, like I said, it wasn't. I didn't see this in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. I think this. Now, I might be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, ladies and gentlemen, but I think this started probably in the 70s. Once welfare, all that stuff went on and happened. You had urban decay. The communities kind of crashed out, and poverty. All that stuff went on, and you started seeing, this is just what I see, you started seeing this different way of speaking, man, to where it's like, oh man, you speak like you're black. Damn, why speaking like you black sound like you speaking like you ain't got no sense? Is that what that means? I mean, I don't know, man. It's just I wonder, man. This is just me speaking out loud, just kind of ad-libbing at this point. is a lot of black folks will get shamed by their own families. Let's say you go to a family reunion or something, and you speak a certain way, and you're getting shamed, you're getting laughed at, man, from the way you speak. Oh man, that boy you speak so proper, you speak so right. Oh my gosh. Yeah, and it almost legit, it would shame you. Not, oh man, that's pretty good. You can speak the King's English. You're getting shamed, bro. It's great. It's crazy. I'm not saying none of this is right or wrong, but I'm just telling you what I see. What I see from my eyes, man. It's a thing, man. Speaking white, and it's still a thing today. I mean, I even stop myself, man, when I see a let's say a teenage black kid, well spoken. Like I'm thinking to myself, man, that kid is well spoken, man. He's well spoken. And no, he's not well. He's just speaking English, bro. Just speaking English correctly. So it's like the bar is set so low, man. I don't know. This is just a drive time. This is just stuff that's in my head, man. Maybe I'm crazy, bro. Maybe I've lost my marbles at my age, man. But anyhow, thanks for riding with me. Listen to me babble. Hopefully I'll get better at this, and I'll come up with better topics. But anyhow, you guys have a wonderful weekend coming up. Have a wonderful weekend.